Hi guys, it's your boy Ekede here once again. And today, since we have decided from the last video to talk about the basics of investing in the stock market, so today we're going to be talking about understanding the stock more. And then the first question we'll be looking at is, what is the intrinsic value of a stock? What is the intrinsic value of a stock? Since you're a retail stock investor, it is very important for you to know the true value of what you're investing in. Now, let me take a cue from a book I read recently about Warren Buffett's investing strategy, right? Warren Buffett, when he invested in Disney, all right, in the Disney stock, it was about 40 cents. I mentioned this in the last episode. Now, Warren Buffett understood that Disney as a brand is still going to go up. They are still going to upscale. Their value had not yet ended. So he looked into the future and said, no, this brand is entertaining children, and he doesn't see anything that would stop the brand from moving forward, all right, with what they are doing from that time to whenever. So he decided to invest in the stock, and he bought about 1 million of the stock. Now, as I when he bought it, it was 40 cents. As of today, Disney stock is almost over $220, right? So, what is the intrinsic value of a stock? I looked the word intrinsic before I came up on this episode on the Oxford Advanced Learner Dictionary, and intrinsic means the real value or the true value of something. So, like I mentioned the other day, when you see new companies or young brands or platforms, companies that are listed on the stock market, and you're about to buy, while you're doing your research, if you decide to do your research using AI, all right, you're supposed to ask the AI, what is the intrinsic value of this stock? Looking at it in the next 5, 10 years, what is it going to be like? All right. Now, having understood that, before you invest, you need to think like, as our last year, Coca-Cola stock was going for about 45, $48, and then later shot up to over $64. Me, I still believe that the Coca-Cola brand is worth over $1,000. So if I was to be buying the Coca-Cola stock, trust me, I'll be driven by this calculation, because I know that Coca-Cola for a fact is a very solid brand, and they are doing a lot. So for me, I feel that the Coca-Cola stock is cheap, by the way. Yes, it's currently cheap. So, having that at the back of my mind, I could go ahead to invest in the Coca-Cola stock, buy a couple shares of it, and hold them for some time. And by the way, there are also stocks in the market that have uh, their companies are what I'll call everyday use companies, companies like Starbucks, companies like Walmart, companies like even Google. All right, these are blue chip companies. They are always delivering value every day. As the day is breaking, you have millions of people using Google. As the night is coming, you have a lot of people going to Walmart to eat and buying their brand. As the day is breaking up, people are drinking coffee from Starbucks. As the night is coming, of course, people are also interacting with Home Depot. All right. So these brands, they are brands that will give you steady dividends. Now, before we even go too far, all right, the stock market is a place where you're to invest. All right. Having generational wealth at the back of your mind, because if there was any other place, the rich will be there. The people like Warren Buffett will be there. The Bill Gates will be there. The um, Elon Musk, they will be there. But of all the places that they could be that you are not, is the stock market. So why aren't you investing? All right. Now let's move on to the next question. Understanding what the companies on the stock market represents. All right. Understanding what the companies on the stock market represent. Now, I just mentioned a bit of it just a few seconds ago. Now, the brands or the companies on the stock market, what do they represent? If I mention Starbucks, you know that Starbucks produces coffee. They give you coffee, the coffee you drank in New York this morning. If you're watching from New York, the coffee you drank in Florida. and so on and so forth. And Walmart, we all know Walmart. They have a very huge restaurant chain, and they provide snack and uh, pastries. All right. Then we have other brands like Apple, of course. They gave us MacBook, they gave us iPhone 10, iPhone 15, iPhone 14, and so on. And then we also have brands like Tesla. These days we have electric cars on the streets of America, and Tesla is even looking at upscaling to, you know, doing things that could even go global. All right, Tesla is looking at, you know, domineering the EV industry. Now, mentioning Tesla, Tesla is a leading brand, all right, is a leading company in EV. Now, EV is a place you should look out for in the stock market. All right, EV is a brand or a category of stocks you should be looking out for. Now, I was watching CNBC earlier this afternoon, and you know what? AI has come up again. AI has come up again. So, for those of you throwing memes on social media that even ChatGPT's job wasn't safe, DeepSeek AI has come to kick ChatGPT out. Yes, keep the memes coming, but of course, remember that investing in the stock market is not just about the profit, all right? It's a continuum. You're looking at generational wealth and um, something that would outlive this year, all right? You're not investing in January or February to withdraw in December. That might be maybe a short term plan, but the secret of the stock market is that the stock market favors long-term investors. The stock market favors long-term investors. Um, Now, here is what was said in the book. All right, I'm not going to tell you the book in this episode. I'll tell you the name of the book maybe in the next episode or the next episode after that. But just listen carefully. Now, it is said that okay, we're living in a world today where we have people who trade stocks and derivatives like normal futures trade on crypto platforms, all right? Now, so they have this day trading, all right? No matter how good they are, no matter how good they are, listen carefully. The profit they are going to make in a week, all right, every day from Sunday to Sunday is not going to be more than the profit you make in 10 years or 20 years or even 30, 40 years. There's a reason why you should listen to this because if you invest in the stock market for a long time, all right, the stock market keeps doubling up, it keeps bringing out more dividends, and then you're going to gain more in the long run than someone who's doing day trading. Yeah, so even if you're not making enough money to be able to buy all the stocks you want to buy, all right, just have some patience and trust me, it's going to pay out. All right. Now, before I go any further, I want to throw a very big shout out to 234 Backdrops. They've been our brand sponsors and they've been very kind to us. If you look behind me, there's a green backdrop today behind me. Yesterday it was a yellow and a brown one. We're very, very grateful to 234 Backdrops. And we yeah, we hope to see their business thrive. All right. If you're a photographer, you could reach out to them on Instagram at 234 backdrops. All right. At 234 backdrops. They're located in Abuja, Nigeria, and they should be able to provide you with any size of backdrops you need. All right. They also they also do a service where you give them the type, the size, and the design of backdrop you need, and they would give it to you. So shout out to 234 Backdrops again. It's nice doing partnership and business with you guys. So as we continue now, moving to the next one. All right, succeeding in the stock market. That's supposed to be for next episode, but I'm going to give you a little briefing on it. Succeeding in the stock market. Hmm. Succeeding in the stock market is everybody's dream. All right, but how are you going to succeed in the stock market if you're not patient and you are, how am I going to put it? Okay, if you're not patient and if you have this hit and run mentality, I usually call it the arm robber mindset. You break into a market and you want to steal all the money and run and go in the shortest possible time. Uh, if you're that way, it's not going to favor you in the stock market because you might decide to buy a stock and then the stock goes up 2% and you make maybe 10, 20, $30. But if you had had the patience to wait, like people like the great Warren Buffett, your $20 would have become maybe $2,000 or maybe $20,000. But you decided to be an arm robber. You broke in and you broke out and you lost profit. All right. So your mindset, correcting your mindset before going into investment in the stock market is a very, very, very big um, addition to you because yes, you're going to have needs and wants, and you would also want to, you know, try to invest your money in any other place or diversify, as we call it. But leaving the money you put on the stock market to remain on the market and grow is going to do you a lot of good. All right, it is going to do you a lot of good. Now, how do I break this down to you? In the book Think and Grow Rich, Robert T. Kiyosaki says something. He said every morning around 7 a.m. the the poor and the middle class they go out to work because they've been employed to help a certain somebody to generate dollars, all right, or any currency in the country where you work or where you live. Now, look at investment this way. Investing in the stock market is a place where your $1 helps you to earn another dollar, right? Now, what happens in the stock market is that as you invest, each unit of your money, each dollar in your investment portfolio is an employee that's helping you to get the next dollar. So that is the reason why you need to do a lot of research in your about the stocks that you're going to be putting on in your portfolio because if you do the research, you're going to have a swollen portfolio, a very profitable portfolio. There's a reason why today's backdrop is green. You're going to have a green portfolio. Shout out again to the makers of this backdrop. So you're going to have a very green portfolio that's going to give you the best of what you want. All right. So now the next thing after correcting your mindset is consistency. Consistency, all right? Having consistency in your investment. Now, when I say consistency, for those of us who live in Nigeria, all right, for me, I like to buy stocks on the New York Stock Exchange, and I use an app called Bamboo. They are currently not sponsoring us, so that's the most I can do, mentioning them once. Now, when you buy a stock, all right, looking at the fact that our currency pair, the naira to dollar pair, is not really balanced. That is another reason why I go for penny stocks. All right. Now, considering that our currency pairs are not balanced, the the rate at which we looking at the fact that our currency pairs are not balanced. All right, the rate of the naira to the dollar is over 1,500 naira. So it's one of the reasons why I buy penny stocks. Now, if I see, I really do a lot of research before going for any penny stock at all. If I see a penny stock, all right, that's about $1 or less, and I decide to buy it, I've done a lot of calculations. Although sometimes I might have looked at it over a month or two. Within that period, the price would have gone up. I might have lost an opportunity a little bit, but I'll still invest now. All right. So doing this analysis before buying a stock is key. All right, because if I decide to buy a penny stock and I get a reasonable amount of it, it is going to be a very big uh, profit for me because as the price of the stock goes up, as against the amount I used to invest in it, it's going to really, really profit me. All right. So considering this is a lot of plus, all right, to us like people living in Nigeria, for example. Then another thing about investment in the stock market, investing in the stock market is that Before buying mega cap stocks, all right, you should do your research. And also remember, there's a reason why I usually tell people to watch the movie Dumb Money. All right, in Dumb Money they call it stock. They call options. All right, call options for cheap. Now on the app I use, there is a place where you have buy, that is to buy the stock at the current price, and then there's another place where you have uh, buy at a cheaper rate. I've forgotten what they call it, but it's similar to call options. All right. Now in this section, you're given the opportunity to say how much you want to buy each unit of the stock at. Let's say you want to buy Tesla stock. It was, last time I checked, it was about $242 for one. Now, and let's say you have $20. So in this second option, all right, similar to call options, you could say I want to buy each of the stock at $1. So each of my $1 in my $20 spread, I'm going to use $10 out of it to buy some of the Tesla stock. Now, when you do this, you would still make gains, you still make profit. Now, the reason why I mentioned consistency is that for us living in Nigeria, our currency pair, since it's not equal, it's not balanced to the dollar, investing again and again will give you enough time for you to be able to allow compound interest, all right, to work for you and give you reasonable returns in the long run, all right. So as I round up, all right, yesterday we mentioned that the stock market is a level playing field for the rich and the poor. Now, have this at the back of your mind, all right. Before you buy any stock, it is wiser and safer to do your research, all right. What is this stock about? You could even go to a site like Yahoo Finance, check the people that have invested in the stock. If the company has its officials, its employees buying the stock, that's a green light, all right. Now, if the employees of the companies are buying a particular stock, all right, more, they are buying the stock of the company more at a particular time. Maybe you've been doing your research, you've been studying the stock, and then you notice that this month, last month, it was just two employees of the company that owns like 25%, or maybe, okay, let's not say 25%, let's say they own a reasonable amount, maybe it's 25% of their portfolio, or it's 30 or 50% of their portfolio. It used to be two employees, now they are 10. It's time to jump in, all right. Now, another thing is considering the period of the year you're in. If you're in Nigeria, for example, let's say you want to buy from Nigeria Stock Exchange. If there was a solar company on the Nigerian stock market, you would notice that the prices of solar materials, solar panels and stuff would go up towards the dry season. Sorry, it will come down towards the dry season and to go up towards the rain season, because now there will be more need for power supply, and then people want to heat their homes, stay in a properly lit environment, and so on and so forth. Now, these types of market, all right, stocks that are coming from companies that relate directly with the buyers of, or the end users of their product, usually have these tell signs and signals that at this point in time, the stock price is going to shoot. All right. Now, as a roundup, there are also other things in the stock market that you can invest in. They are not just stocks. You have ETFs, you have REITs. All right. Let me talk about REITs. REITs are real estate trust. These are similar to what you call stocks of real estate companies. All right. But there are also other apps or platforms where you could buy real estate properties in fractions. They're like saying buying them like fractions of Bitcoin, for example. All right. Now, if you if you're in Nigeria, there's an app called Cable. All right. I'll see if I can put the link on the screen. If you if you invest in Cable or decide to use Cable, in Cable you could buy stock market um, similarities or derivatives of real estate properties around the world. You could buy from VGC in Lagos. You could buy from real estate companies properties in New York or in China or wherever. Now, the way Cable works is the same way pictures are being pixelated, and each picture has tiny, tiny fractions of or units that come together to make up the picture. All right, that's how the units of the properties are sold on these platforms. Now, if the market works in your favor and you decide to buy these properties, all right, let's say you have $100,000 and you decide to buy a property that's in Lagos or in New York, and eventually the property gets either sold or rented, you're going to see a lot of profit. So remember, I'm here to tell you about investing in the stock market and similar things. So that is that is it for the extras. All right.